Can you believe it? Just because I took a set of boudoir photos to preserve the beauty of my youth, my newly engaged fiancé not only demanded to call off the wedding when he found out, but also completely disfigured my face. This story is based on a real submission from a netizen. Because of a set of boudoir photos, my face was disfigured by my fiancé. My name is Xiaoxi, and I've been engaged to my fiancé, Ajie, for 4 months. I thought I would be married to him for the rest of my life, that we would have cute kids and a warm home. He works in construction and handles some small projects on his own. His financial situation isn't amazing, but it's decent. My family's financial situation is a bit better than his. My parents run a small business, and I've never had to endure much hardship since I was a kid. After getting engaged, we moved in together. Our life was plain, but happy. He would cook for me, remember my period, and pick me up from work on rainy days. But what I never expected was that he would actually lay his hands on me over a few photos. It all started that day when my best friend, Xiao Lu, mentioned an art photography studio that took amazing pictures, and the photographer was highly professional. She had done a shoot there before, and the results were absolutely stunning. I had been dealing with some frustrating issues at work recently and was in a pretty bad mood, so I thought maybe I should go get some photos taken too, just for a change of pace. So I asked Xiao Lu to book an appointment for me, and the two of us went together. The studio was located in an office building and had a very stylish vibe. From the outfits to the sets and the makeup, everything was exactly my style. The photographer taking my pictures was a guy who said his name was Ken. He was in his early 30s and was quite the smooth talker. As soon as I walked in, he complimented my figure, my fair skin, and my proportions, saying I would definitely look great on camera. I was actually pretty happy at the time. I mean, what girl wouldn't be thrilled to hear that? At first, I picked out a few outfits that were a bit on the sexy side, like backless dresses that showed off my figure. Ken was great at directing poses, and I was quite satisfied with how the photos turned out. After finishing the pre-booked outfits, Ken said to me, "Hey gorgeous, with your amazing looks, it'd be a real shame not to shoot a boudoir set." He added that I should do it as a keepsake while I'm still young, otherwise it'd be too late by the time I'm older. As he spoke, he showed me some sample photos. They were indeed very artistic, with perfect lighting and proportions. Honestly, I hesitated. I'm not a super open person, but his words did sway me a bit. I had seen plenty of posts online about girls taking boudoir photos. Some take them themselves, others hire photographers. The goal is just to capture yourself looking your best. It's not some shameful secret. Xiao Lu was right there beside me, encouraging me too, saying, "If you want to shoot them, just do it. It's for your eyes only anyway, and no one else will know. You can just ask for all the raw files back afterward." I thought about it, felt like it wasn't a big deal, and nodded in agreement. When it comes to boudoir photos, I'm sure you all understand the outfit situation, so I won't go into details. Even though Ken was a male photographer, he remained completely professional the whole time. There were no inappropriate moves. He just gave directions when needed and looked away when he was supposed to. I know many people might find this hard to believe, but honestly, there are a lot of girls shooting boudoir photos these days. If you search on TikTok, tons of people share their experiences. It's just like how there are male gynecologists. It's a professional requirement. They shoot this stuff every day and have long since grown numb to it. Everything was totally normal during the shoot, but the problem started during the photo selection. They took a total of 880 raw shots of me, and the package I chose included 40 heavily retouched photos. After selecting them, I told Ken, "Could you delete the remaining raw files I don't want?" This is a very reasonable request, right? After all, these are my private photos. If I don't want to keep them, what right do you have to keep them? But he refused. He told me he couldn't delete them. He claimed they owned the copyright to the raw files, and even though it was my picture, it was the photographer's work. They had the right to retain the ones I didn't choose. If I absolutely insisted on them deleting everything, I would have to buy all the remaining 840 raw files. At 50 RMB a piece, that's a total of 44,000 RMB. I was panicking at that point. I said, "These are boudoir photos. How can you keep them? What if they get leaked? How am I supposed to face anyone?" Hearing this, Ken's attitude instantly changed, and his tone became extremely aggressive. He said this was an industry rule, that I willingly took the photos, and it wasn't like they forced me to. Then he said something even more infuriating. "Look at my attitude now. Even if you paid the full 44,000, we could still choose not to delete them. Because the copyright is in our hands, we'll keep them if we want to." I was shaking with anger, but also scared to death. I called the police right there and then, called my fiancé, Ajie, telling him to get here immediately. I was genuinely terrified. Not that they would physically assault me, but that they would secretly copy my raw photo files. About 10 minutes later, Ajie arrived before the police. As soon as he walked in, he saw me arguing with the people in the studio. I was crying uncontrollably by then, feeling incredibly wronged. Xiaolu gave him a quick rundown of what happened, explaining that the photographer refused to delete my boudoir raw files and even threatened me. Ajie's face instantly darkened. He didn't go argue with the photographer. Instead, he turned to look at me, his voice dangerously low, and said, "You took boudoir photos?" I answered yes. He then asked, "A male photographer took them?" I said, "Yes, but..." Before I could even finish my sentence, he raised his hand and slapped me across the face. I was completely stunned. I had absolutely no time to react. The slap knocked me sideways, my head slammed into the table next to me, and my ears started ringing. Before I could even steady myself, he grabbed me by the hair, yanked me up, and started throwing punches. I desperately tried to cover my face with my hands, but he just pried my hands away and kept going. At that moment, it felt like my face was being repeatedly run over by a truck. Every hit was a dull ache, and my bones felt like they were shattering. My ears were buzzing, and my mouth was filled with the metallic taste of blood. I was crying and screaming, begging him to stop. But it was like he couldn't hear me. His eyes were bloodshot, and he kept cursing. "You shameless bitch, I'll give you a photo shoot. Don't you love taking pictures?" The photographer and the boss were just watching the drama unfold at first, but when they saw I was losing consciousness, they finally got scared. Several people rushed forward to pull him off. Ajie had superhuman strength at that moment. Several guys couldn't hold him back. In my daze, I heard the photographer yelling, "Bro, stop hitting her. What are you doing? I'll delete them, okay?" By the time the police arrived, I had almost lost consciousness. I only have fragmented memories of what happened next. The police took Ajie away, and I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. I know many people might say, "Well, were you in the wrong? Was it right for you to take boudoir photos? Weren't you being too easy? Were you disrespecting your fiancé?" I honestly don't want to debate this issue, nor am I trying to make excuses for myself, because I always believe that no matter what I did wrong, he shouldn't have beaten me like that. He is my fiancé, the man who said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with me. He could have chosen to break up with me. He could have cursed at me. He could have hated me, or even refused to ever see me again. But he shouldn't have pinned me to the floor, smashing his fists into my face punch after punch. What I can't figure out is, what exactly did I do to make someone who deeply loved me say such things and commit such an act? Later, the hospital did an injury assessment for me. When the results came out, even I was shocked. Traumatic perforated eardrum, loose teeth, 2 nasal bone fractures, orbital bone fracture, and multiple hematomas and severe bruising on my face. The doctor said my face was so swollen it was completely unrecognizable. I looked like a pig's head. After I got out of the hospital, the first thing I did was look for a lawyer. I stumbled upon a lawyer doing live consultations online and quickly joined the stream. After hearing my situation, Lawyer Wang was very blunt. She said my injuries looked terrifying, but based on the current situation, it might not reach the threshold of minor injury grade 2, so it might not be classified as a criminal offense. She told me that injury classification isn't about how many places you were hurt, but how severe the injuries are. A perforated eardrum must fail to heal after 6 weeks to be considered a minor injury. A hairline fracture of the nasal bone is different from a full break, and loose teeth are different from knocked out teeth. Hearing this, my heart sank. I was beaten to a pulp and it still wasn't enough to sentence him? But Lawyer Wang also said that even if it doesn't constitute a criminal offense, administrative detention and civil compensation are absolutely guaranteed. His beating me was wrong. No matter what you did, him getting physical was wrong. We live in a society governed by law. If you have an issue, talk it out. If you don't want to be together, break up. But resorting to physical violence is absolutely unacceptable. Next, I asked Lawyer Wang about the photographer's claims. She said the photographer was spouting absolute BS. Saying copyright supersedes privacy rights is pure nonsense. While the photographer does hold the copyright to the photos, this right cannot override my right to privacy and my right to my own image. My request for him to delete the raw files was legally sound and reasonable. He was obligated to delete them. In the end, the photographer did actually delete the raw files, not because he listened to reason, but because he was scared. That beating terrified everyone in the studio. They were afraid someone was going to die, so they deleted everything right on the spot. You see how ironic this is? My fiancé did help me get my raw files back, but because of those very files, he also disfigured me. I'm lying at home right now, my face wrapped in bandages, and I can't taste anything I eat. I can't hear very well, and my nose is still packed with gauze. I ask myself, what exactly did I do wrong? Is taking boudoir photos really such a massive sin? I don't think so. The photographer was a professional, and I took them willingly, just as a keepsake. What's so shameful about that? What about that warranted being beaten like this? But I also know that if time could rewind, I definitely wouldn't take them. Not because I think taking boudoir photos is wrong, but because I never expected this incident would make me see a person's true colors so clearly. Sometimes I wonder, how did we end up here? Just 4 months ago, he was holding my hand, promising me a lifetime. We had so many happy moments when we were together. I thought I had found someone I could entrust the rest of my life to. How did he turn into someone who wanted to beat me until I was disfigured in the blink of an eye? Maybe this is the most terrifying thing about relationships. You think you know someone. You think your relationship can withstand tests, but once you hit a certain breaking point, you realize you have absolutely no idea what kind of monster lives inside that person. Someone who usually caters to your every whim can, in a split second, turn into a wild beast over something you didn't think was a big deal. I'm not defending myself. I just feel that if a relationship requires violence to solve a problem, then that relationship was wrong from the very beginning. As for me taking those boudoir photos, I still can't say for sure whether it was right or wrong. Maybe in some people's eyes, I deserved it. Maybe in others' eyes, I just made an unwise decision, but didn't deserve this punishment. But the only thing I'm absolutely certain of is that no matter what, I shouldn't have been beaten like this. No one deserves to be beaten like this. My boyfriend has a special quirk. Every time he finishes picking his nose, takes off his socks, or even his unwashed armpits, he likes to take a deep sniff. But what I absolutely never expected was that when I complained about him being unhygienic once again, he actually shoved my head directly into his armpit. My name is Yu Xiao Xiao, 28 years old. I've been with my boyfriend, Su Yang, for almost 2 years. We met at a friend's party. He's 2 years older than me. He isn't exactly handsome, but his sense of humor makes up for it. He could always make people laugh out loud. When we first got together, he treated me really well. He remembered what I liked to eat, ordered takeout for me when I worked late into the night, and occasionally planned little surprises. Before we moved in together, I was full of fantasies about the future. I imagined the two of us curled up on the couch watching movies, cooking together on weekends, waking up and seeing each other first thing in the morning. How romantic. But reality still gave me a harsh slap in the face. The first week we moved in together, I discovered an issue that made me lose my mind. Su Yang has a little habit. Every time he finishes picking his nose, he subconsciously brings his hand up to his face to smell it. Sometimes he even takes a deep breath, as if he needs to fill his lungs with that scent to be satisfied. And every time he takes off his socks, he doesn't rush to throw them into the laundry hamper. Instead, he holds them up to his nose and takes a huge whiff. His expression even looks like he's somewhat enjoying it. What I couldn't stand the most was that sometimes, when he was covered in sweat, he would directly rub his armpit with his hand and then smell it. The whole motion was so smooth and practiced, like an instinct carved deep into his bones. When I first saw it, I was completely dumbfounded. I asked him, "What are you doing?" At the time, I still tried to be polite, thinking he was playing a joke on me. But he just looked indifferent, chuckled, and said, "I'm used to it. I've been like this since I was a kid. Just taking a sniff, it's no big deal." I thought he only did this occasionally, but I later realized that wasn't the case at all. This was a mandatory daily routine for him. Sometimes he would repeat it dozens of times a day. On the couch, by the dining table, even lying in bed getting ready to sleep, he would suddenly take a sniff. I tried to talk to him nicely. I said, "Can you please break this habit? It's really unsanitary." He immediately retorted, "I'm not bothering anyone else. What's wrong with smelling myself?" But what he didn't know was that every time I saw him do this, I silently deducted a point from him in my heart. What made me even more uncomfortable was that he seemed to think there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. He felt I was making a mountain out of a molehill, being too squeamish and fussy. Slowly, I started getting irritable. Every time I saw him do that motion again, I couldn't help but say something. Sometimes, with a softer tone, I'd say, "Can you pay a little attention to your hygiene?" Sometimes, when I really couldn't hold it in, I'd just call him disgusting, sloppy, and unhygienic. After hearing this enough, he started getting upset too. He said I was always disgusted by him, complaining that he had lived like this for so many years without an issue, so why did it suddenly become a crime when he was with me? What embarrassed me the most was that he didn't hold back in front of our friends either. One weekend, we invited friends over for dinner. He started doing that stuff right in front of everyone. I was so embarrassed I couldn't save face, so I couldn't help but scold him a little. As a result, he talked back to me right on the spot, making everyone feel awkward. Later, my friend asked me privately, "Is your boyfriend a little, you know?" I wanted the ground to swallow me whole right then and there. But I figured it's not easy for two people to be together, and I shouldn't just break up over a habit, right? I told myself to be more tolerant and give him some time. Maybe he would slowly change. But the facts proved I was far too naive. Speaking of this, Liuya wants to recommend a hidden gem of an app to you guys, which is Douyin Jingxuan. There are many mid to long emotional videos like mine here, all of which are high-quality, hand-picked videos that you can both listen to and watch. Whether you're eating, sleeping, doing chores, or watching the kids, you can open it and listen anytime, anywhere. It's incredibly convenient. Plus, it supports a sleep timer function. Once you set the time, you can turn off your screen and enjoy listening to the videos. If you like emotional stories, hurry up and download it to give it a try. That day, Su Yang was busy outside all day and came home covered in sweat. I was sitting on the couch at the time. The moment he walked through the door, the smell of sweat hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, "Su Yang, hurry up and go take a shower. You smell like sweat all over." He waved his hand impatiently and said, I know," then collapsed onto the couch and started playing on his phone. I was unhappy right then and said, "You're sweating so much. Why aren't you hurrying to shower? You're going to make the couch smell like you." He got mad too and said sarcastically, Fine. All day long, all you know is how to be disgusted by me. I come back tired after a long day, and you can't even let me rest for a minute? You can't stand anything I do. I smell my nose, you're disgusted. I smell my socks, you're disgusted. Now I sweat a little, and you're disgusted too. Do you just think I'm terrible at everything? I was so angry I didn't even want to look at him, so I turned around to leave. But just then, he suddenly let out a laugh. That smile made my heart skip a beat. He aggressively reached out and yanked me over. Before I could even react, his large hand clamped onto the back of my head and forcefully shoved my face right into his armpit. That smell overwhelmingly flooded my nasal cavity. Sour, stinky, and foul, like sweat that had been fermenting for a long time, mixed with something indescribable. It rushed straight to my throat and stomach. I struggled desperately, but he was just too strong. My face was pressed down incredibly tight. The smell got thicker and thicker. I felt like I wasn't breathing, but rather eating a pile of rotting garbage through my nose. Then, I used all my strength to violently shove him away, ran straight to the bathroom, hunched over the toilet, and started throwing up. It wasn't just dry heaving, I was actually throwing up. Everything in my stomach churned and came up. I threw up over and over again until my face was covered in tears and snot, until there was nothing left in my stomach, but I was still dry heaving. But that smell felt like it had taken root inside my nasal cavity. It just wouldn't fade away. Su Yang was still outside laughing, saying, "Look at you. Is that really necessary? I was just messing around with you. Aren't you exaggerating a bit?" He completely ignored how miserable I looked. He just thought it was lovers playfully roughhousing and that I was overreacting. After that, I started feeling really off. I noticed that as long as I looked at Su Yang, I would remember that smell and instantly feel sick to my stomach. When we were eating and he sat across from me, I couldn't even hold my chopstick steady. When we went to bed at night, if he even got close to me, I was so scared my whole body would tense up and my stomach would start churning again. During that time, I couldn't eat or sleep, and I lost a ton of weight. Seeing me acting more and more abnormal, Su Yang finally panicked and hurriedly took me to the hospital. After asking about my situation, the doctor told me that not only was I experiencing a stress response from severe psychological trauma, but I had also inhaled a large amount of bacteria during that incident, leading to a mild fungal infection. He said it was a good thing I came in early. If I had dragged it out, it could have been much worse. He prescribed some medicine, told me to take it properly, and also strongly suggested I go see a therapist. Walking out of the hospital, I felt like I was living a nightmare. I couldn't stay in the same space as Su Yang anymore. As long as he got close to me, I would uncontrollably shake and feel nauseous. So, I broke up with him. I told him we really couldn't keep going on like this. That's when he finally realized he had messed up and kept apologizing to me, saying he just wanted to joke around and didn't expect it to be so serious. He promised he would definitely change and never do it again, but I couldn't listen to him anymore, because I knew deep down this wasn't the first time he had done something like this. He claimed he was just playing around, but he perfectly knew how much I hated that habit, and perfectly knew I felt uncomfortable every time I saw it, yet he still did it. He wasn't being careless, he did it on purpose. He just wanted to use this method to prove he was right, to mock my boundaries, and to tell me that my feelings didn't matter. That this was just who he was, and I had to accept it whether I wanted to or not. Later, seeing that I didn't have the slightest intention of getting back together, he said, "Fine, we can break up, but I paid the rent for the past 2 years, along with some of our dating expenses. Shouldn't you refund that to me?" I thought I heard him wrong at the time. It turned out that in his heart, our 2 years of relationship were nothing more than a financial ledger in the end. The rent he mentioned was something he voluntarily offered to cover after we moved in together, saying I was a girl and he shouldn't let me pay. The so-called money transfers and gifts he mentioned, some were birthday gifts from him, some were holiday gifts, but I gave him equally valuable things in return. So I said, "Okay, since you want to calculate it this way, I haven't even asked you to compensate me for my medical bills and emotional distress. I'm telling you, you need to give me 100,000 yuan. If you don't give it to me, I'll expose all these things you did and let everyone know how disgusting you are." Actually, I didn't really want the 100,000 yuan. It's just that I felt from the very beginning, he treated our relationship like an accounting ledger. When things were good, he never mentioned it. The moment there was a problem, he would grab onto this and not let go. Ultimately, he transferred the medical expenses to me. The moment I received the money, I immediately blocked and deleted Su Yang, took my packed luggage, and left that place that made my skin crawl. I'm doing much better now. I can eat and I can finally sleep. Although I occasionally feel nauseous when I remember that smell, it's not nearly as severe as before. I know time will heal everything, including this absurd relationship. After married with a child, I accidentally found out my husband used to be a male escort. With my emotional mysophobia, OCD about relationship purity, do I play dumb and keep living my life, or firmly choose to divorce? My name is Xiaowan, and I'm 32 years old. By this July, my husband, Amu, and I will have been married for exactly 2 years. We also have an adorable daughter who just turned 1. Because she was born in April, we named her April. She's fair and chubby, has 2 little dimples when she smiles, and her features look exactly like my husband's. Speaking of my husband, everyone says I'm incredibly lucky. He's good-looking, not the flashy, showy kind of handsome, but a clean-cut, comfortable look. He has a great temper and has never raised his voice at me. He's a hard worker, and the second he gets off work, he takes the initiative to watch the baby, do the laundry, and mop the floors. He doesn't smoke or drink, and he doesn't even join in on his coworkers' gossip. Our relationship is so good that our friends are actually jealous. They call us the model couple of our friend group. I honestly thought I must have saved the world in my past life to meet such a good man. I've always been a neat freak when it comes to relationships, emotional mysophobia, and everyone who knows me knows this. My last 2 breakups happened because I found out my exes were fooling around. I couldn't stomach it, so I cut them off cleanly. So, when Amu and I got together, I laid all my cards on the table. I told him, "I can accept mistakes you made when you were young and naive, but I absolutely cannot accept it if you've ever worked in the nightlife/entertainment industry. I also won't accept you keeping in touch with your exes or having any shady romantic history. If you have even a tiny bit of this kind of past, tell me right now so we can part on good terms." What did he say back then? I remember it vividly. He patted his chest, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "Xiaowan, don't worry. My romantic history is totally clean. I've only had 2 serious relationships, nothing messy. His tone was so sincere. It was so sincere that I dropped all my defenses and happily married him. Thinking back now, my absolute certainty back then makes my current pain feel so incredibly ironic. Over the past 2 years of marriage, he genuinely hasn't disappointed me once. When I was pregnant and had severe morning sickness, he got up at 5 a.m. every day to make congee for me and massaged my swollen legs every night before bed. During my postpartum recovery, my hormones were all over the place, and I'd cry at the drop of a hat. But he would just stay by my side, chatting and telling jokes to cheer me up. After the baby was born, he was always the one jumping up to make formula and change diapers in the middle of the night. I never heard a single complaint come out of his mouth. Every month, after deducting our regular expenses, he hands his entire paycheck over to me. He even gave me his phone passcode, and I can check it whenever I want. He's also incredibly good to my parents. During the holidays, he buys gifts and brings them over early. He's even more thoughtful than I am, their actual daughter. Sometimes, looking at him, I'd think to myself, spending my life married to such an attentive, devoted man is totally worth it. But I never in a million years expected that all of this was a meticulously crafted act just for me. It all fell apart last Saturday night. After dinner, my husband went to the bathroom to wash the baby's clothes, leaving his phone casually on the coffee table in the living room. I was holding our daughter on the couch, watching cartoons. That little pig on TV was jumping up and down in a muddy puddle, making my daughter giggle. Right then, his phone buzzed. I glanced over. It was a text from his best bro asking him to play a game. I know the guy, Aji. He's been over for dinner before and always seemed like an honest guy. Note: the video includes a brief sponsor shout-out for the app Douyin Jingxuan here, recommending it for similar relationship stories and podcasts. I saw my husband was busy, so I figured I'd help him reply, just to tell his friend he was doing laundry and would call later. Just as I was about to type, I accidentally saw something. A pinned chat with a man at the top of his WeChat list. Half an hour ago, he had sent my husband a message. It was short, just one line. "Bro, a few years ago you were such a big shot working as a host at the Jinbi Club. Now you've settled down to be a stay-at-home dad. What a waste of your talents." Followed by a laughing emoji. Jinbi Club, host, male escort. Those words put together made my brain buzz, and the blood in my veins felt like it turned to ice. My first reaction was absolute disbelief. Maybe it was a joke? Guys talk big and BS with each other all the time. Saying he used to be a host might just be them teasing him for being so good-looking. I tried to comfort myself, but my hand uncontrollably scrolled up the chat history. The history only went back about a month, which wasn't much, but thinking about it now, it was highly likely deleted. Still, just that 1 month of messages sent the blood rushing straight to my head in waves. That guy was teasing my husband in the chat, saying he used to be the absolute best at sweet-talking rich older women, and that generous clients would tip him thousands of dollars at a time. He also said my husband was never short of women, cycling through them like a revolving door. He even brought up some of his wild past exploits. Things I couldn't even bear to imagine were casually spilled out by him, one by one. Their tone was so relaxed, like they were reminiscing about their glory days. What hurt me the most was when the guy asked him, "Does your wife still not know about all this?" My husband replied with absolute certainty, "Definitely can't let her know. Her mind is too pure, and she's a neat freak about relationships. If she finds out, she'll definitely divorce me." Just those 2 simple sentences. No extra explanations, not even a defense. It turns out he had been lying to me from the very beginning. He knew exactly what I feared most, knew I could never accept his past in the nightlife industry. So he deliberately hid it, carefully disguised himself as a completely clean, good man, and served himself up to me. In that moment, sitting on the couch, gripping the phone, my stomach was turning. I couldn't stop my mind from racing. Was all his tenderness and care over the past 2 years just an act? Those skills in bed that I thought were just natural talent, were they actually occupational habits? Him rushing home after work every day to take care of the kid, was it just because he was afraid I'd get suspicious? He kept his filthy, unbearable past airtight, only handing the whitewashed version of himself over to me. And I was like an idiot, thinking I'd found a treasure. When my husband pushed the door open and walked out, he was drying his hands while looking at me. When he saw me gripping his phone with an indescribably awful look on my face, the color completely drained from his face. He rushed over and reached out to grab the phone. His movements were frantic, completely unlike his usual self. I looked up at him. "Did you used to work as a male escort at a nightclub?" He didn't answer immediately. His eyes darted around, terrified to look at me. I asked him several times in a row. Our daughter had already fallen asleep next to me, and the whole living room was so quiet that the only sound was the little pig grunting on the TV. Finally, he gave a terrified nod and said, "Shawan, that was when I was young and stupid. It was many years ago. I've long since changed." His voice was very low, like a child who had been caught doing something bad. Then he immediately added, "I was young then, with no degree and no skills. I just wanted to make money fast and foolishly took the wrong path. But ever since I met you, I've changed from the bottom of my heart. After we had our daughter, I cut off all those messy friends from my past. I would never dare do anything to betray you. Never. I haven't even had the thought. I just want to live a good life with you." He kept apologizing, saying he didn't confess because he wasn't trying to trick me, but because he was truly terrified of losing me and our child, afraid of losing this family. He said he cherishes this family more than anything. Watching him look so pitiful while apologizing, honestly, it hurt my heart too. His goodness to me over the past 2 years was very real. The care during my pregnancy was real. The companionship during my postpartum recovery was real. And his patience getting up at night to make formula and change diapers was real. I really can't find a single flaw in his behavior since we got married. He has given so much to me, to our child, and to this family. But my emotional mysophobia, I really just can't get over this mental hurdle. I am someone who values emotional purity more than my own life. I cannot accept that the man I love deeply, trust, and have entrusted my life to used to mingle in such a shady, chaotic environment. He spent his days dealing with all kinds of women, making a living off his looks and by pleasing others. Just the thought of him accompanying strange women to drink, shopping and dining with rich older women, saying sweet nothings to them. It makes me feel like all the tenderness and consideration he shows me are just tricks he learned back then, not anything coming from his heart. I feel incredibly disgusted. Lately, I've been tossing and turning, unable to sleep, my mind constantly spiraling and wearing me down. It's like 2 people are fighting inside my head. One voice says, "Let it go. He treats you so well now. Let the past stay in the past. Who doesn't have a past? Look at all those divorced women. How many can find someone better than him? Besides, your child is only 1 year old. Do you have the heart to let her grow up in a single-parent home?" The other voice immediately jumps out to argue. "How can you pretend you don't know? Where is your relationship OCD? Where are your principles? You know he lied to you. Can you still trust him and be intimate with him without reservations like before? Can you really do that?" I've thought about just putting my cards on the table and filing for divorce. But seeing my daughter smiling while lying in my arms, my heart softens again. She's still so little. She doesn't understand anything, and she needs a complete family. If this was a deal breaker like cheating or domestic violence after we got married, I would just leave, loud and proud. But his fault is hiding his past, not betraying our present. Is it really worth destroying a happy, warm home over ancient history? I can't even answer that question myself. Right now, he is still that husband who comes home after work every day to take care of the kid and is gentle and considerate to me. He spends every day walking on eggshells, constantly reading my mood, terrified I'll bring up divorce. He's even more hardworking than before and speaks even less. Sometimes I secretly watch him, and I know he's suffering inside too. But this whole thing is like a thorn lodged in my heart. I can't pull it out, and the pain won't fade. Half of me is living in comfortable happiness, the other half in painful torment. I feel like I'm very lucky, yet at the same time incredibly pathetic. I don't know what to do anymore. Maybe time will give me an answer, or maybe it never will. Do you have the kind of secret that you can never tell anyone for the rest of your life? To this day, my husband still has no idea that the startup fund that put me through college was actually a bricklayer's savings for his future wife, accumulated over several years. This content is based on a real submission from a netizen, the bricklayer who used his marriage fund to help me fly out of the mountains. My name is Xiao Yu, born in '85. I'm currently based in Shanghai, own a house and a car, and have a harmonious family. In the eyes of outsiders, I'm the textbook example of a kid from a poor family changing her destiny through education. But I know very well in my heart that beneath the pedestal of my glamorous life lies another person's dignity and silence. I grew up in the deep mountains of western Hubei. I have a younger brother who is 2 years my junior. My parents were typical peasants, honest, submissive, yet extremely shrewd. All their shrewdness was spent on figuring out how to use their limited resources to preserve the family bloodline, which meant my brother. In the summer of 2003, I received an admission letter from a Project 211 university in the provincial capital. Back then, a golden phoenix flying out of the deep mountains was a huge sensation for the whole village. Even the village party secretary came to my house in person to congratulate us. But after everyone left, my dad squatted on the threshold and smoked his dry pipe all night. The next morning, he said to me, "Kid, the family has no money. If you want to go to college, you have to figure out the tuition yourself. Your brother needs to build a house and get a wife in a couple of years. We can't touch the family's bottom line savings." I knew exactly what he was thinking. In their cost-benefit calculus, paying for a daughter's education was a high-risk, low-return investment. Once a daughter marries, she belongs to another family, and the money would basically be thrown down the drain. Keeping the money for their son to build a house and marry was their guarantee for old age. I didn't cry or make a scene after hearing this, because I knew crying would be utterly useless. It would only make them think I was being unreasonable. My mind was racing with calculations: how to get a student loan, how much I could earn from summer jobs. If I chose not to enroll, would I be stuck working as a factory girl for the rest of my life, and then just marry some random guy? Ultimately, that fear of poverty and mediocrity overwhelmed everything else. I decided to go to Guangdong to work and save up some tuition money before school started. But on the night before I was supposed to pack my bags, I ran into someone. His name was Chengzi. He lived in the backyard of my house and was 3 years older than me. His dad died early, and his mom raised him single-handedly. He didn't even finish middle school before he followed the village construction crew out to do renovations, working as a bricklayer. When we were little, he used to follow me around everywhere. But after I went to high school, we practically became people from two different worlds. I found his mortar smell and vulgar speech repulsive, and he knew his place too. Every time he saw me, he'd take a detour. The moonlight was very bright that night. He stood under the locust tree behind my house, clutching a red cloth bundle tightly in his hands. Just as I was feeling confused, he shoved the bundle into my hands. I opened it and saw a full 5,000 RMB. You know, back then, 5,000 RMB was a massive fortune in the countryside. He scratched his head, his eyes holding a glimmer of expectation, and looked at me, saying, "I know your family won't give you the money. Once you graduate and make something of yourself, don't ever come back. This place doesn't nurture people." I was stunned for a moment. According to the tropes of romance novels, I should have refused. I should have said I couldn't take his hard-earned blood and sweat money. But I didn't. My brain was spinning fast. This money was my only lifeline. If I grabbed it, I could turn my life around. If I didn't, I would just rot in the mud. After all, my core interest was getting out of there, and for that, I could sacrifice my temporary pride. So I took the money, but I still asked him one question. "What's in it for you?" I wasn't some naive, sweet girl. I knew there was no love or hate without a reason in this world. I was afraid he would want me to marry him in return. If that were the case, this deal wouldn't be worth it for me. Changze silently lit a cigarette, the ember flickering in the dark. He chuckled, a very rogue-like laugh, tinged with the unique slyness and pragmatism of rural folks. He said, "I'm not expecting you to be my wife. Once you get into college, your heart will be set on bigger things. You won't stay. As for me, I just want the satisfaction." The villagers all looked down on me, calling me a fatherless bastard, destined for a life of hard labor. I just want to see if the college student I funded can turn out more successful than the village chief's son. When you make it big later on, just don't forget it was me who gave you a push. He was telling the truth, and it was the truth that best aligned with his interests. He knew it was useless to force me to stay, so it was better to do me a natural favor and maximize this debt of gratitude. This was a long-term venture capital investment. He was betting on a future connection, or perhaps just a psychological sense of superiority. Look, that golden phoenix who flew out of here only took off because of me. Later, I left. I took the 5,000 RMB he gave me, along with the few hundred I had saved myself, and went to the provincial capital. During my 4 years in college, I worked my fingers to the bone studying and doing part-time jobs. During my sophomore year, I scraped together 6,000 RMB to cover the 5,000 principal plus interest and mailed it back to his mother. I only wrote 4 words in the letter: debt paid in full. I did this for my own benefit too. I didn't want to be in debt, especially an unpayable debt of gratitude. I needed to turn this relationship into a pure financial transaction. That way, I could go live the new life I wanted with a clear conscience, date a boyfriend in the city, and build myself a squeaky clean resume. After graduation, I joined a foreign company and later job hopped to Shanghai. Later still, I got married and bought a house. My husband is a Shanghai local from a well-off family. In front of him, I am the inspiring, independent woman who relied on scholarships to get through college. But I have never once mentioned Changze, because it doesn't align with my interests. For a married, white-collar woman in a Tier 1 city to have an ambiguous past with a rural bricklayer, that would only bring unnecessary suspicion and cracks into my marriage. It wasn't until the year before last, when my hometown was building a new road and required moving some ancestral graves, that I finally made a trip back. One day, I ran into Changze in front of the convenience store at the village entrance. He had aged a lot. Half his hair was white, and his back was stooped. He was a contractor now, reportedly bought a house in the county town, and drove a dusty pickup truck. He was playing cards with some people at the time, a cigarette dangling from his lips, swearing casually. When he saw me step out of the car, he froze for a second. The light in his eyes flashed and then quickly died out. My sophisticated husband, wearing a cashmere coat, stood next to me and politely asked, Is this a relative of yours? In that split second, countless thoughts flashed through my mind. If I acted too familiar, my husband would overthink it. If I acted too distant, it would make me look heartless. So I smiled and said to my husband with just the right amount of politeness, "This is a neighbor who used to live in our backyard. He took good care of us when we were little." Immediately after, I turned to Changzi, gave a nod and said, "Brother Chang, long time no see." Hearing me say this, Changzi slammed his cards face down on the table, stood up, and patted the dust off his clothes. He didn't look at me, but glanced at the car next to me and my husband. He pulled a familiar, slightly roguish smile. "You're back. You're right. I used to take your brother out to play in the mud a lot when we were kids." He played along with my narrative, safely defining our relationship within the boundaries of playing with my brother. Then he fished a soft pack of Chungla cigarettes from his pocket, about to offer one to my husband. He extended his hand halfway and then pulled it back, probably seeing my husband's refined appearance and figuring he didn't look like a smoker. He rubbed his hands awkwardly and said, "All right, you guys go ahead. I'm on a winning streak here. Gotta keep playing." I smiled back, turned around, and got into the car. When the car started, I looked in the rearview mirror and saw that he hadn't sat back down to play cards. Instead, he stood in the dirt by the road, watching our car until it disappeared around the bend. In that moment, it was incredibly clear to me. Both of us were acting. We were both trying our hardest to maintain our current respectability. He didn't expose my past destitution, didn't jump out and say, "Hey, I'm the one who paid your wife's tuition back then," because there was no benefit in that for him. Doing so would only humiliate me, make me hate him, and possibly ruin my reputation in the village. He would gain zero material benefit and instead lose a potential connection with a successful fellow townsman. Maintaining this shallow, old acquaintance relationship was the choice that maximized his interests. And I, too, didn't show excessive gratitude or intimacy because I had to protect my image in front of my husband and protect the peace of my current life. We are both extremely smart and extremely rational people. That night years ago, it was rational for me to take the money and leave, and it was rational for him to give the money and let go. Now, seeing each other but acting like strangers was even more rational. When I got home that evening, I listened to my mom gossiping about Changzi. She said, "Changzi is a shrewd one. He made quite a bit of money contracting projects these past couple of years, but his wife is a jealous jar, keeps him on a tight leash. Oh, right. Back when you went to college, I heard he was supposed to go on a blind date, but he ended up lending his saved-up bride price to some sketchy friend, and the marriage fell through. He had to delay his marriage for another 2 or 3 years." I was drinking water at the time. Hearing this, my hand involuntarily trembled, and the hot water splashed onto the back of my hand, stinging sharply. So, it wasn't spare cash he saved from working. It was actually his marriage fund. But I didn't say anything. I just grabbed a tissue, wiped my hand, and replied indifferently, "Oh, really? Well, as long as he's doing fine now." I couldn't allow myself to be moved, nor could I feel guilty, because guilt and being moved are the most useless emotions in the adult world. They can't change the past. They only mess up the present. The only thing I can do now is to help him as much as possible if he ever needs to ask me for a favor in the future, provided it doesn't harm my core interests. This is my secret. Everyone thinks I defied the heavens and changed my destiny all by myself. But only I know that my starting line was paved by a rural bricklayer using his marriage money. But he will never say it, and I will never bring it up. We are like two intersecting lines that cross paths because of a single exchange of interests, and then quickly separated, racing in parallel worlds toward the maximization of our own interests, until the day we die.